Assalamu alaikum, and this is Naaila, the contributing counselor with About Islam. I am hailing to you from Atlanta, Georgia. Please come right in, have a seat, let me know where you are. Do know that this is live. I do have some questions prepared, but I will be taking live questions from you today, and I'm excited about seeing what they are. And as always, do know that the thing that I challenge you about the most is the relationship with yourself. Okay, so I'm going to pull up my good, juicy questions that the About Islam staff has already forwarded to me. Make sure I have my sound and everything in check. As always, please, when you come in, let me know where you are. I always like to be able to connect with everyone and where you are globally. Just lets me know where we're tapping at all over the world. And then I get to feel kind of sort of like I'm traveling from home. Okay, so I'm going to go with this question. It says, I have been on and off with my partner for 2 years. And officially, we've been together for 6 months now. And it has been a very happy time during my life. He's the love of my life. Recently, he's been finding it hard to pray. And he told his mother this, and she responded with, God doesn't put it in you if you're being bad. This has made him realize that he shouldn't be with me, but he desperately wants to be. And we are desperate to find a way around it and can't imagine our lives without each other, but we're too young for marriage. Would God not want him to be happy? Okay, so, reading this from this brother, and I'm going back and I'm looking at some other details that are included here. And it said it's a Muslim man, and this is a non-Muslim woman. So the non-Muslim woman is the one who has presented this question. All right, so I don't want to do what I believe that the other person has done here, which is made a lot of assumptions. Oh, we got some people from Philadelphia. Hello, Ruben. Assalamu alaikum. I spend a lot of time in Philly. I work with a lot of couples and a lot of individuals from the Philadelphia area. So I just feel a kinship with you already, just with you being here. I haven't been that way this year, though. I'm going to have to do something about that. I always get much love from Philly. So, this person has made a lot of assumptions here, and I don't want to fall into the same error, because they've been intended for a while, for about 6 months. And that really, what does that have to do with the brother finding it hard to pray? And I do know that where it says his mother says God doesn't put it in you if you're being bad. Sometimes we will get enough rope to hang ourselves with. That's the saying that we have here, is that, there are times when you just make your bed hard and you just have to lie in it. But I can't say that I know that that's what's going on, or even that his mother would know what's going on. It could be that his mother knows something about him that we don't know. And it says it made him realize that he shouldn't be with me, but he desperately wants to be. That really is going to be a decision for him to make about what he wants to do with this relationship. We have a couple of relationships here. We have his relationship with his Lord, with his prayer. We have his relationship with the young lady. And then there's a relationship with himself. And so I would suggest, not to look away around these things, but to look for a way to bring these things together. All of three of these things, they should be cohesive. They should flow. My relationship with Allah and my relationship with myself, it should go into and improve the relationships that I have with other people. And if I have any type of conflict or hiccup in one of these areas, it's definitely going to be a trickle-down effect of some stuff I don't want to happen. And this is, would God not want him to be happy? Sure, he wants nothing but good for us. However, sometimes we do make decisions that bring about our own demise. And so, but to answer that question, yes. Yes, he does. So my recommendation is for each of you to look at what is it that I can do to ensure that my relationship with my Lord and my relationship with my acts of worship and my relationships with other people all show and reflect the same thing that I want about myself. Because when they don't, trick folks, that's when we have some problems. Oh, Nadia, you have a cousin that lives in Atlanta, Georgia? Cool. As a matter of fact, I was about to say I don't have any family here, but I do. I now have a cousin that lives here in Atlanta, Georgia. Well, in addition to my husband and my children. So they're family too, right? I can't leave them out. Okay, so another question. Assalamu alaikum, sister. My problem is that I have trouble getting heated up for sexual intimacy while my husband would like to have it more. Honestly, I do not feel like it. I don't get that excited. It's more of a duty to me. But he complains. He complains, and that's why I do it. I do not want to be like this, and I feel so much pressure because I obviously don't want to turn my husband down. But at the same time, I just don't want to. At night, I'm sleepy, and I definitely do not want to wake up before Fajr to wash my hair. I do not have the energy to make ghusl before sleeping. Morning, maybe, but it just takes too much time. What shall I do? And I'm afraid, what will I do when we have children? I have even less time. Now, that's the truth. Kids will make you sleepy. He will leave me or get another wife if this does not change. Okay, intimacy in a relationship, that's serious. And you want everyone's rights to be respected, but you also want everyone's rights and their needs to be met at the same time. So no one should be sacrificed. We shouldn't not have sex because you don't want to, and then you shouldn't deny me sex because you don't feel like it. So you have to you do have to juggle some things here. And the juggling really comes out in the balance. Let me go back because I want to ensure that I address a couple of things. All right, first you said, I don't feel excited. Well, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he has recommended in matters of intimacy, for a couple to spend time in foreplay. And when you say, I have trouble getting heated up, well, it may be that, maybe the two of you might want to consider giving more time to preheating the oven, if you will, and give you more time for foreplay and to give you more time to get to the point where you are excited and you are interested, because you haven't said that you're not attracted to your husband. You haven't said that you don't love your husband. So those are good things. I'm hoping that because you didn't say it, that it doesn't mean that you don't. So if you're attracted to him, perhaps it may be that you may be one of those who might need a little bit more time in that area. Okay, I'm going to go back. You also talked about your sleep cycle. Sleep is important. Without sleep, our whole mood changes. But maybe the two of you might want to consider being creative with your scheduling of it. Very often we think of intimacy is that something that has to happen at night when you go to bed. Well, you're married. You're not limited to that. You can be intimate at other times during the day. And it doesn't have to be restricted to, oh, it's time to go to bed and let's be intimate now. Because it may be better for you, and you may be a bit more willing to make those whistles during the day. And you've said that your husband, his libido is definitely not an issue. So if he's not going to be restricted to those times, then the two of you enjoy your marriage, enjoy each other, and be creative and be flexible about the times that you choose to be intimate. So I'm definitely going to recommend spending some more time with foreplay, and then look at time creativity. You don't have to be limited to the night. Okay, I'm going to go on to the next question. And please give me feedback. Let me know what you think about what it is that I'm saying. I have been doing this for a long time. I have almost 30 years of experience, but I want to hear your feedback. I want to hear your comment. Like, that makes sense, Naaila. Just let me know what it is that you think. Ooh, this is a serious one, y'all. My husband wants children, and I'm not ready to have children yet. I do not have this feeling. Other mothers tell me about having children, and this causes problems between my husband and I. How do I solve the situation? And why don't I feel like I want to have children when I'm almost 27 years old? You know, I don't know if y'all know, I do a lot of premarital counseling, and that's actually something that I specialize in. And as someone who does so much counseling in the premarital sector, this goes woo to me, because these are so many things that you can cover in premarital. Because my first question would be, well, didn't you tell him you may not be so excited about having kids, and if you are, you may want to wait a while? So, but this couple, they're already married, so they can't back up and do that. But I'm going to let you know, for those of you who are here who are not married, if you just think that you may want to delay it, you know, I'm just a year or two, whatever it may be, let someone know, so that the two of you can even be on the same page in regard to when you're going to have children. Okay. Ismail here says, can a pregnant woman fast during the Ramadan? You know, Ramadan is a month that's so full of mercy that it is also a time when Allah gives us the mercy of exceptions for those who don't have to fast. And one of the people who do not have to fast during the month of Ramadan due to Allah's mercy is a pregnant woman. Her body is using and needing its nutrients to continue the creation and the development of the unborn child in her womb. So that is one of the people that gets the exception from the fasting. So, but now that we're talking about children, and this is a sister who says, I don't want any. And everyone does it. You know, I don't want, and because I also don't want a woman to feel badly because I don't want kids. Everyone does it. Everyone doesn't feel maternal. I have 3 beautiful children, and there was a time when I didn't want children, and then there was a time when I had children. It's like, oh, I don't want any more right now. But you can feel guilty for even saying, because the thought is, you're a woman and you're married. Why don't you want children? There must be something wrong with you, and it isn't. Everyone doesn't have that maternal desire. So first I want to say that's okay. And I know we live in a world that will shame you and judge you for feeling that way. All right, she said, how do I solve this situation? Well, I'm going to say this, and I know some people may give me the side eye about what it is I'm about to say, but there is a resolution here. And for the sister who presented this question is really one where you don't have to do very much. You know, your husband, he can take another wife, and he can exercise his right to have children with another wife. That's one option. The second one is that if you say, well, I really do want him to be happy. And, the thought of kids is I don't believe that it's awful. I'm just not ready right now. Maybe you can think about, all right, what is it that you want to do while you're 27 years old? What is it that you really feel like I need to do? And if I did that, then I would be ready. Well, then go ahead and do that thing. And then go ahead and give him the right and to be able to have the experience of having children and being able to parent with you. Because he deserves the right to be a father. And so these are two options for you. But if you don't want to give him children, I'm going to be mindful that, he still has the right to be a father and to have children. And it doesn't have to be with you. He can take another wife to make that happen. Okay, so I'm going to make sure that I keep up with my questions and comments over here. All right, so I've got one more. Y'all, we're almost out of time. This always goes so quickly. All right, so I've met a man through family and friends, and he is everything. We're planning to get married soon. And he told me about his past relationships, which included 3 women he slept with, but he had no intentions to marry them. And this stopped the year before he is met, but he also told me he has repented. And I've had a lot of relationships too, but none of them have led to sex. Only everything before that, with the exception of one, in which I stopped quickly after I realized I had made a mistake. Now, I know I sound like a hypocrite because I slept with someone too. But it was someone I loved and wanted to marry. And he did it with girls, and he told them, look, we're going to be intimate, but don't look for marriage. And it makes me so sad because he's such a nice, kind, sweet, shy guy. And it makes me fear that we are not compatible. He prays and he doesn't want us to sin and be intimate and wait until marriage as I do. But I hate his past choices. Am I living in OCD where I just keep picturing him with these girls and it is just bothering me? And I always wanted a man who values a relationship and knows what he wants. And he tells me he didn't know what love was at that time. Help me, please. Does he deserve forgiveness? I don't know. That kind of stung me for a minute because you use the word deserve forgiveness. First, Allah is most merciful, most forgiving. And the whole concept of forgiveness and how much he does it and loves to do it is almost foreign to us as human beings. But yes, he deserves forgiveness. But also let's be mindful that Allah is the one who forgives. Allah is the one who grants repentance. Okay, however, first the repentance is with Allah. And, and then it's about us repenting and forgiving ourselves. Man, y'all, sometimes it is so hard to forgive yourself. We can be so hard on ourselves at times. And you feel like, well, I need to forgive. I need to forgive him. And I'm going to say, do you? Do you need to forgive him for something that he has repented to Allah for and had absolutely nothing to do with you? For what? What do you need to forgive him for? How has he harmed you in that, other than you don't like it? He really hasn't. He didn't do anything to you. You just don't like it. That's not going to be okay. And so I'm going to say to you, do you want to go into a marriage where someone may do something? Because they will, and you will too. And you'll be passing judgment like that. Because that's a strong judgment about him. You're making a judgment about him and his past behavior. Which is also something that you did. But you said, oh, but the difference is that I was intending to marry the person, and for him, he didn't. Okay, though, true indeed. Those are the differences. However, the sin is still the same. And you're making this judgment about whether or not he deserves forgiveness. And so I'm going to say, I believe that you yourself probably want forgiveness. And I believe that inshallah you yourself have repented. And if you have, why does he not deserve the same thing? And you said it, does he deserve forgiveness and to marry him? Marrying him is still going to be totally up to you. This is going to be about your decision about whether or not you choose to do that. But I'm going to challenge you to ask yourself, do you want to be married to anyone where you may be in a position where you make judgments about another person? Now, why is this so important? Because marriage requires so much forgiveness. And you are talking about someone who you're not married to, who has repented, and it had nothing to do with you. And you feel so strongly about the behavior that they did, the action that they did. If you feel this way prior to marriage, you're going to feel this way during marriage. And that won't be good for your marriage. That really might be something that you might want to resolve and take care of before you go into a union. Okay, Nadia said, true sister, in Islam, having kids is one blessing from Allah. Not all marriages does Allah give children for. It's just another way of Allah to bless their marriage. You're right, Nadia. Everyone doesn't get children. You don't want children and not have them. You know, so everyone doesn't have children, and everyone doesn't get married. You know, we have beautiful scholars in Islam who never married. So this concept that you got to be married and you got to have babies. No, there aren't any goddess. Everything is still according to Allah's decree. So guess what? That's all of them for today. And I did something I don't usually do, y'all. I ended right on time. So that's a good thing. I'm looking forward to seeing all of you again next week. Oh, thank you for the hearts. They make a girl feel good. And I'm going to see you in 2 weeks. And again, if you have any questions for me, if you want to follow up with me, if you want to see my videos, if you want to know what is it that lady does when she's not here, you can go to www.thatclay, C-L-A-Y, couple, COUPLE.com. Thatclaycouple.com is also in the comments. I pray that Allah accepts your fast. I pray that He gives you courage to complete your acts of worship. I pray that He grants you mercy and that He grants you favor. And I pray that He accepts all of your good intentions during this holy month of Ramadan. Ameen. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.